We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. And we're live. Hey, everybody. We're actually live. So, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. This is the amateur hour every
Yes.
Friday, same time, same bat channel, 4:30 to 5:30 Eastern. I'm live. Sometimes I have guests, sometimes I don't, but I'm always an amateur. I've been doing this for 5 years and I still don't know how to do it. 6 years. How long have we been doing this, Bill?
Oh gosh, I've known you 2018.
Yeah. When I started doing it, yeah.
Speaking
A
of which,
long time.
Dave was going through some notes, and we'll get into it when the show gets. But we're traveling this next week, and we found out that we opened up our store January 14th, 2018. Was when I officially opened up an eBay store.
Yay.
So yeah, I found the paperwork of when we opened up, and
I don't even know.
I opened it up with $20. I opened it up with, and grew it into this, what it is today. So yeah, it's proud moments.
Well, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star, and this is Bill.
Hi everyone.
Bill and David, his husband, are really good friends of mine in real life and very awesome resellers. I like to have Bill on here. David's camera shy. He's your Keith.
Yes.
But
Yep.
I like to have Bill on. His Instagram is down below in the description box. So if you don't follow Gnome and the Frog on Instagram, you very well should be. And subscribe to my channel.
And we're now in the Frog on Facebook too.
Let me beg for money. Subscribe and like my channel.
Thanks for you reviving my Gnome and the Frog Facebook page. I think since you told me a month ago, I think I gained another like 20 followers. So thank you.
Well, let's make that 100. Everybody follow Bill.
Thank you.
I have 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, so he should have 10,000 subscribers on Instagram.
Yeah, it's Gnome and the Frog, just like you see on the screen.
Yep, there's a link. So today we're going to talk about the time management. There's only one. The time management. But first, I'm going to say hi to everybody that's here. That's funny. Dawn was doing something else. And so was I. I was talking to Bill. And we were like, oh, shoot, we're supposed to be live. We usually get on here like 15, 20 minutes before we go live just to chat.
Yeah, we chat and get into a deep conversation. Like, oh, we got to leave.
Yeah. Like we didn't just talk on the phone the other day, but you know what? We're good friends, so we can talk all the
That's
time.
what it's about. That's what it's all about.
Jason's here. Welcome in, Jason. Just saw you at a listing party. And Donovan.
Oh, hey, Scott.
Stella's here. Marianne. Vanessa, I just saw you at the listing party. Welcome in. Thank you for coming over today. Believable Blessings is here. You may remember the plushies that she sent me. And I don't see Scott because I didn't scroll down far enough. Brian is here. Hey, Brian, I just saw you at the listing party, too. I feel like I'm bringing the whole listing party over here with me, Bill. Hey, Bill is a true crime connoisseur.
Yes, I am.
And he uses this perfectly.
My husband calls it death, murder, kill.
Why aren't you at our true crime parties on Friday?
I guess I'll have to join in.
I guess you're going to have to because you like true crime and you use this perfectly.
Too much of it. Matter of fact, it's so bad that that's all my YouTube algorithm has.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, David does not like true crime, and Keith is not a fan of true crime.
No.
So they like to tease us, and Bill watches true crime while he works, and David calls it, and he's in the basement. So his husband calls it murder, death, kill in the basement.
Yeah.
I usually watch it while I do my dot painting.
What a place. I can even run the body right out to the garage if I needed to. Oh, I shouldn't say.
This is my current one, by the way.
So, okay.
That's my current dot painting. I also watch true crime now while I walk on the treadmill. So that's called walk murder.
I watch them all. I couldn't. My YouTube, I can't even remember any of them. But it's just like I bookmark them, and I like the one that tells what murder, married, death, something like that.
Oh
So
yeah. So you got to watch the ones I was telling you about.
yes, I will.
They're
And
on
then
Hulu.
what's the other one that I watch? See No Evil on the ID channel. I like that one, and I like
Yeah, I've watched all of those.
American Monsters. I like that.
ID is like what, $4 a month for streaming, and
Something
you
like
get
that.
tons of true crime.
I like the ones that tell a story. But there's some that repeat. There's some that they have like so many guests on that guest is repeating the same thing within a 3-minute period. But I like the ones that tell the story from like childhood all the way up to when the incident happened.
So you're like me. We're all completely off topic, but that's okay because it's Friday and it's a hangout. And Friday hangouts are all about hanging out and talking.
There you go.
My obsession for true crime, I like to know the why.
Yes.
So there's something, and I just said this in the listing party, but there's something wrong with their brains. They're different than us. They don't have empathy. They're sociopaths. And that's what fascinates me. And in another life, Bill, I would have been, and you've heard me say this before, in another life, if I would have made different choices, I would have been a profiler for the FBI.
Okay.
I would have been a criminal psychologist or a forensic psychologist. That just what goes on up here fascinates me. So the ones with the stories, this is how they grew up, the nurture versus nature, were they born this way, where was it the abuse, what makes them tick, why they think it's that's what fascinates me.
Sure. No, it's that, and they always like, and you would probably know this more than I would. They always related to one incident that happened over time that caused them to go to the path that they're in.
Yeah. And so, yeah, those always interest me, but
It always comes down to either sexual abuse or just abuse in general, especially mental.
mhm.
And it's just weird how you see stories, even with the older adults, when I pick up their stories, how that male or female will go towards what they grew up with instead of running away from it because they felt comfortable that way. So they feel
See, you
comfortable.
need to come to the listing parties. We talk about like nature versus nurture, all this good stuff. Like
Anyway, I know we're getting way
how
off.
you were brought up,
Anyway,
or you
yeah,
know.
no, I get it. I
So
get it.
anyway, real quick, some recommendations from Star. They're on Hulu. Um, I Survived a Serial Killer is very fascinating, and it tells a story. And the way that one's filmed, I really like it because they'll tell you like the part that happened in 1988, and they'll go back to their crimes in 78, and then they'll fast forward to the 90s.
Mhm.
And it's a fascinating look at how people got away with crimes in the time before the FBI and the science and the DNA that we have now. And they have famous serial killers on there. They don't talk to the serial killers, they don't get any screen time. They talk to their survivors. And there's actually some serial killers that I didn't know had survivors. And they have their survivors on there talking about their stories.
Oh wow.
So that one's really good. I Survived a Serial Killer. Then I watched How I Caught My Murderer, something like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
That one tells really good stories
Oh,
about
I am
how
too.
victims left something behind.
What's the one that's out? I just watched it. I Murdered or something like that, and they're telling their story from in prison. I forget
That
what
one's
it.
on Netflix, and I can't remember the name of it.
Yes, and then I just watched one, and I got to watch the end of the story. The guy that killed his best friend growing up in his sleep, and he called and said that he had murdered her. He doesn't remember doing it at all, and now they're saying that he did it in his sleep. I'll have to pull it up.
You have to pull it up. So anyway, the third one I just started is Did in the Dorms. It's pretty fascinating too. So with that all said, hey Star, how do you have so much time to watch all your true crime? And how do you have time to do your dot paintings in the evenings? And you have time to walk on the treadmill? I do. And do you want to know why? Because I manage my time really, really well. And
Mhm.
I have blocks of time for certain things. And I even block off time for fun stuff and personal stuff to make sure that it gets done because I don't want to live a life where I'm always working, where I'm always not feeling well, which I'm not going to go into it on a live YouTube, but I am having a lot of health issues in the background here. Most of you might have noticed since last Friday's live show, I haven't put out any YouTube videos and I haven't been very active on Instagram. I'm struggling with a lot of health issues above and beyond my disability in my back right now. A lot of doctor's appointments, lab appointments, and treatments I'm going through. But I'm still managing to get a lot of work done in spite of that. And I'm still managing time for my reading and my dots because life is too short. And even when we don't feel good, and even when we have a lot of work to do, you still need time to do the things that you enjoy and the times for the people that you love. So, segue. Yes. So, how does Star have time to be sick and still have read an entire 900-page Stephen King novel this week? That's because I was sick in bed for 3 days. I laid in bed and read. But I still got over 300 of our stuffed animals back in the store. I still recorded 3 videos this morning. I still did 2 listing parties this week. I cleaned the house. I mean, it's just about time management, I think. The second show. I'm going to type my 3 shows in here, Bill.
I just saw Murdoch Murders are up on Netflix. Just popped up.
By the way, Bill and I like true crime a lot. It's something we definitely have in common. True crime.
Yes.
So what do you make time for? What's important to you?
I make a time for my 6:30 butt on the couch watching Big Bang. That's what I make time for. I make sure I am up between 6:30 and 7. And I'll have my coffee on the couch. I give myself about an hour and a half, and that's to do all my Facebook postings and say hello to people in the morning and say hi to my kids. And then I'm usually showered and down here by 10. And then if Dave has jeans, I will set aside my first 2 hours to photograph his jeans. And then I have from 12 o'clock until 6:15 when I go upstairs. I do eat lunch by myself. We only eat dinner together and breakfast. But anyway, I plan my day that I photograph roughly 10 to 15 items. And then I go into list perfect and list them. And that usually takes me to cross post them all probably about 3 hours from start to finish. That's from investigating them, pricing them, and getting them out on all the platforms. So that usually gives me about 2 hours, and I'll fiddle around with checking to make sure stuff doesn't fall off eBay and old listings and updating listings and stuff like that. I just
So
did it.
You're saying that you have routines.
That's my routine. Yes.
You're saying you have routines.
Yes.
Can I say that one more time because it's super important?
Okay.
What do you have?
Routines.
Bill has routines. Those are so super important because when you have good routines in place, and this was the last time you were on here, we talked more in depth about this.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you'll do the things you need to do, even when you don't feel like it or you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to say there's days where you're not going to work. Okay, life happens.
Sure.
People get sick. People when you have doctor's appointments. Sometimes
you get excited about traveling.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to play hooky. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Whenever World of Warcraft drops their newest expansion, me and Keith always take a couple days off of work, but we plan ahead of time. We definitely plan ahead of time. But me and Keith have been known to take a day off to play a video game, or just to go to Universal before we left Florida, because we had to see Harry Potter. We play hooky sometimes to go to a movie in the middle of the week if it's like a popular Marvel movie and we don't want to have the theater crowded when we go. But you plan for it. But what I'm saying is, and also, by the way, listen to your bodies. I was talking about this in I have a midweek motivation listing party as well on Wednesday nights. Listen to your body, okay? If you wake up and you're just like, I don't feel like it today, I'm tired, man, shut up and work.
Yeah.
But if you legitimately have some kind of physical illness or physical disability that can put you down for a day, listen to it. If you have a debilitating migraine, don't try to work through it
Sure.
because the migraine's only going to get worse and last longer, and you're going to end up throwing up and not being able to eat.
Mm-hmm.
If your back hurts and you can't get up, if your knee hurts and you can't get up, listen to your body, take the day to rest, but nurture yourself. Rest, actually rest, and do what you need to do to feel better and make yourself feel better so that tomorrow or in 2 days or 3 days, if you have the flu or COVID, you can get up and do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there will be
Absolutely.
days you don't work, you physically cannot, or something's going on. But I'm sure that, hey, listen, total transparency, even when I'm 100% feeling well, at least 2 or 3 days a week when that alarm goes off at 7:30, I'm like, but I don't wanna.
Yeah.
I just got a Stephen King book and I want to read all day. I want to day drink and read.
Oh, I hear you. Well, that's like today. Today was a totally off day because we're heading to Vegas, and I was investigating all the different booths that we want to see, and so Dave's doing the same. So we put the eBay on hold. But the nice thing is Dave took photographs of jeans, and we're going to slowly over the time that we're gone list those jeans and make it look active. And we're
Yeah.
putting the store on vacation and just keeping it for sale.
Now, here's another segue for you. Did you know that eBay no longer charges you for scheduled listings?
No, I never ever scheduled a listing. I always just went while I was on vacation. I took the time and
So
the,
they're no longer charging you for scheduled listings. So something I've started doing,
okay.
I have a listing going live every half hour to an hour, 24 hours a day around the clock.
Wow.
And it's increasing our visibility. It's increasing our sales. I've only been doing it since Wednesday. We had planned to start it on Monday, but my body and my health issues had other,
So when you,
the phone. But I was in bed for 2 days, and so we didn't start till Wednesday. And you can ask your question, but let me say one more thing.
mhm.
I have to thank the Donovan collection because it was his idea. He was the first one that noticed they were no longer charging and told me in a listing party that that was what he was going to do. And I totes copied him.
No, because that's a good idea for like after midnight or something to set it up to have your listings go off after midnight or something like that. But
Yeah.
I guess so. It's basically when you're in the back office, you just hit schedule, and
Why
then
are you in the back office? Why aren't you
oh
listing on List Perfectly?
well, when you're doing it on eBay, I'm talking about.
Oh, you push it out on eBay from List Perfectly, we hope.
But I'm saying though, you when
And then here, can I show you?
you hit the time that you want to choose.
Yeah, let
In
me show you. I will show you.
okay,
But yeah, depending on what you're listing. So if you saw Don's comment, he Star cannot do two things at once. Hold on.
take your time.
Um, Don has stuff going live every 15 minutes, but he has a lot of sports cards and like collectible cards that are super
Okay,
easy and fast to list.
okay,
So he can do like listings a lot faster than jeans or plush. So he has them going 15 every 15 minutes around the clock. Um, I had them going every half an hour for a few days. Oh, here's another thing that's been happening. You want to talk about the week from hell, and this is why time management is so important. So, legitimately, guys, Monday and Tuesday, I was in bed. I got up long enough Tuesday to go to the doctor and get some lab work done. Um, and then Wednesday, I was coherent enough to get up and get a shower and have an office day, and I worked and listed all day. But I wasn't well enough to go to the thrift stores yet or grocery shopping. And then yesterday, I finally felt okay for the first time in a few days. Um, but we had to go grocery shopping because we usually do it on Wednesday. I get home, motivated, got all the groceries put away. I had a ham sandwich coming here. Bro, half of our house electric went out. Just half.
Oh my gosh.
And it didn't go out like an electrical outage. Like the light bulb kind of faded out in my office,
Okay.
but my TV was still on. So I paused the TV and yelled, "Hey, do we have any light bulbs?" And Keith's like, the power's out. And I'm like, no, it's not. My phone's still charging and the TV's on. Well, we went downstairs and we looked around, and certain outlets were off, certain were on. In the kitchen, the microwave clock was on, but the oven clock was off.
You got a ghost in your house.
I went downstairs. I should say we went downstairs. We flicked the breaker and we turned the garage light back on, and it came on, but then it turned orange and it kind of like faded out. And then the half of the house that had been out came back on and the other half went off. I'm not kidding. I can't make this up.
You have a ghost in your house.
But at this point, we were like, we're not going to play around because we have really expensive computers. Even
Sure.
if plugged into a surge protector, you can still get damage with your router and your computers. So we unplugged all the computers. We unplugged the router. We turned all the surge protectors off. And I called the electric company to be sure it wasn't a surge or something with them. It was not. Called the landlord. They sent the maintenance guy. He took one look around and said, I can't handle this. I'm just a maintenance guy. So they called the electrician, and everything's back on now, but it keeps flicking on and off. And like the lights in the bathroom or the living room will go off, and then the office light will go off, and those will come back on. And it's been like this since yesterday.
Wonder if a squirrel ate one of your wires or something. Oh, hi, everyone. Hello? We lost you?
Hi.
There you are.
Speaking of the ghost, my internet just went out.
Oh, no. Oh,
I
no.
heard you say, I wonder if a squirrel, and my internet went out, and then it popped right back on.
Oh, wow.
It's a ghost. Anyway,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
electrician's supposed to come out sometime this
Yeah, yeah.
weekend or Monday.
Now you got to name her. Name him or her.
Well, they think we need a new breaker box, completely a new breaker box, or something's
wow.
wrong with our ground wires,
Oh, wow.
which is going to be a whole big mess.
Oh, wow.
Ah! So anyway, long story short, please don't take away my monetization for that, YouTube. Long story short, when I was working Wednesday, I was trying to overwork and make up for being sick Monday and Tuesday. And I had listings going out every half hour scheduled through this afternoon, but then because what happened yesterday, I didn't get a lot of work done. I was productive, though. You want to talk about time management and managing your time well, Bill?
Okay.
When we unplugged the computers and said no more internet until either tomorrow or the electrician comes,
Right.
it was around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I said, well, you know what we should do that we haven't done yet?
What might that be?
We took our Christmas tree on February 23rd. Everyone mark your calendars.
Last year, ours was up till almost the middle of March. So,
But mine's black and it has Halloween ornaments, so it's different. It's purple and black, and Dusty Scott says it broke. Yeah, well, I'll listen to whatever the it's not a fuse. They check the fuses and all that. It's not a fuse. It's something like either in the ground or a whole new breaker box. But anyway,
you're getting back to showing me the listing.
Yeah, so I had them going out every half hour, but then I kind of ran out because I couldn't work. But I did take my Christmas tree down finally. Let me get my glasses on. I'm gonna catch up on comments and then I'll show you.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I do not trace nostalgia. I think that is the worst way to do it. I think Bill still does it that way.
What?
List in eBay and then bring it over to List Perfectly.
I did until you yelled at me on Tuesday.
Here's the thing.
Because what was happening, let me explain how this all happened. I've been listing on eBay, pushing it to List Perfect, and then we list on Macari, Poshmark, and Etsy. Well, every time I did my listings and I did Etsy, the pictures would come up with the triangle saying that it won't list. And I kept getting this error message. It's been going on for 6 months, and finally I got tired of dealing with it. And I said, I tried to do help through the help desk, and nobody really got back to me the way I wanted to. So I called you. And comes to find out, the pixels that are in eBay carrying over List Perfect, List Perfect can't carry those pixels into Etsy. When I did the listing in List Perfect, all the pictures went out perfect and I had no issues. And then I got yelled at and then I said, goodbye, I'll see you Friday. In a happy way.
I'm reading comments.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so the maintenance guy, he checked a bunch of stuff. He knows enough about electricity to do some stuff. But he said if it was something simple, like a fuse or whatever, he would have been able to fix it or determine. It's got to be something in the ground wires, and our neighbors are not affected.
It's just your house.
Breaker box.
Yeah, it sounds like it's.
When the property management company called back, I told her, I'm like, listen, since the last time I called you, because she called to say Matt was on his way. That's our maintenance guy. I said, she's like, Matt's on his way. I'm like, well, since you called me, the lights that were on are now off, and the ones that were off are now on. And she goes, do you guys have a ghost and you're not telling me?
Right? That's the first thing I thought of when you did it. So
okay, so the reason you should, I'm going to answer that question also real quick, and then I'll show you. The reason you should start and list perfectly is because your photos are going to be the best quality in the catalog to push out on all the other platforms. List perfectly. Tech team says Poshmark actually has the weakest resolution and the smallest photos. So the worst thing you could do is start in Poshmark, push to List Perfectly, and then to eBay. But you should be starting List Perfectly because it's just easier. It makes your whole process easier. So you go to your list.
I have to admit, after being stubborn about it, I said I have to admit, after being stubborn about it, I did like 6 or 7 listings yesterday with it, and it is a lot easier.
It's faster, and the background remover is amazeballs. Amazeballs. We were talking about that List Perfectly's live show today. The reason it speeds up my processes so quickly, I no longer have a photo set up. Like Keith literally takes a picture of a shirt on a command hook with the printer in the background and a chair below it. When I take pictures of jeans, I get the table, the TV, my feet, my fat gut, sometimes a side boob, and everything else. And the background remover removes it all. So you don't have to like aim your camera and be like, I just need just my plush. Like I could put a plush on the floor and get the background. It doesn't matter. I'm going to show you guys when I share my screen. But you go to List Perfectly website, you go to add listing, and then you just push the little plus sign and you start taking pictures right on your phone. And then it's uploading immediately to the List Perfectly catalog, and you can set a default template. So if I'm working on all jeans, I have a jeans template. All the photos I take are being, if I take 100 pairs of jeans, photos of 100 pairs of jeans, I would have 100 listings ready to go in a template in my List Perfectly catalog. All I have to do is remove the backgrounds, create and build the listing, which is super easy, and then push it out to 5 platforms. I still see both your side boobs. Not in List Perfectly, you don't. Wait till you get used to it. All right, so let's share my screen, and I will show you guys my List Perfectly. I'm going to show you how to schedule a listing, and I'm going to show you what the background remover does.
So you can schedule in List Perfect, or you're scheduling in eBay?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Let me filter this out so I can grab stuff that we just have pictures of waiting. There is an updated filter system, but I'm a grandma and I like things the way I like them. Thank you very much. All right, so these are stuff I'm ready to push back in. They're listings that are ready to go. Okay, but here's a really good example. Okay, you see how Keith took this picture? You can see the printer and the doorway and the hall floor and everything. Now watch the magic. Da-na-na-na-na. Oh my gosh. Did you see that?
Is there times where it'll take away some of the picture?
No,
Or away?
no,
Because sometimes I know, like on eBay and everything, was there
no.
white? Okay, you don't
That's
lose
why it's
anything.
magical and why you should be starting and list perfectly.
That's good. No, because I know there are programs out there where it loses part of the what you're trying to show.
I wish I had some jeans to show you, but it looks like we've done all of our jeans. Let me filter it out again. Because the jeans are the best example because I am such a lazy slob. Here we go. I am such a lazy slob anymore about my pictures. I just don't care because I know what List Perfectly can do. See my foot, the chair, the bed, the TV, my gut. Watch.
Nice.
Magical.
Nice.
Magical. And I'm going to see if I can show you one plush real quick. But like, it's definitely true my processes because before I was doing it this way and using and taking all my stuff and List Perfectly first, I used to list right into I used to take all the pictures on my phone and then I had to upload them from my phone using a USB cord to my computer, and then I had to upload each set of pictures to a listing in eBay. Then I had to remove all the backgrounds either through eBay, which always screwed them up, like Bill mentioned, or I had this little tool here. I would use this, photoscissors.com. Hey, that was my thumbnail I just created. I still use this sometimes for my thumbnails, but never for listings. But it was always this hassle. And I had this trifold cardboard, like poster board.
Yeah, I remember
that I would put my jeans on.
Yeah.
And I would have to balance that cardboard. Excuse me, wrong button. I would have to balance that cardboard on my table, right? And then try to aim my camera aerial view so that I was just grabbing. I'm pointing at the screen, but you can't see. But I was trying to just grab this area in here. I had to be concerned about how I was taking my picture.
Yep.
And I had to have a photo set up. I had to have 2 lights coming down. And I had to have that photo board. And I had to be wary of what was in the background because eBay's background remover and that scissors.com are not that great.
So how high, I don't mean to interrupt you, but when you're taking that picture, are you standing on a stool?
No, you can see my feet on the floor.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see them now. All right.
Okay. So no, what I do is I have an Android.
And that's also in square mode, correct?
No. Yes.
Okay.
So I have an Android and it's in square mode, but when let me come back here. When I take pictures of aerial like that of jeans, there's a 0.5.
Right. I have the same thing.
And I do that.
With the iPhone.
So anyway, let me go back here. So this is a good topic for time management because when I used to take my photos, I used to have to set up my entire photo setup.
Okay.
Drag out the table, drag out the poster board, drag out 2 lights, one on either side. Make sure they were aimed correctly. And then each pair of pants, each pair of jeans, I had to really be conscious of how I was taking the photo and how I was aiming the camera and what I was doing. Okay. Now I don't do any setup. Literally, when I do Plush, I sit crisscross applesauce on my floor in front of the TV with a Disney movie on or whatever, true crime.
And you just plush after plush.
And I just take my pictures and take my pictures. And with the jeans, I do pull out the white table still, as you can see, because I like to measure a batch of 10 and then photo a batch of 10, measure a batch of 10, photo a batch of 10. And I'll do about 40 to 60 in a 4-hour time frame. Speaking of time management, I do all my work in batch. I do all my photos on Tuesday afternoons and Thursday afternoons for a 4-hour batch period. But I'm willy-nilly. I don't aim my camera anymore. I don't care if I have a setup. I just sit down and start taking photos and I aim my camera however I want. I don't care what's in the background. I'm not concerned, so it's better for time management. And I was trying to see if I have a plush and I don't.
Not to interrupt, but
yes, I do.
If you saw Karen Yee's question, if I said her.
I'm going to get to the questions in a second.
Right.
I want to show you the plush real quick.
Sure.
So you see him how he's on the floor and you can see all the stuff?
Oh, okay. And you don't
Magic.
lose any of the, and you lose none of the bear. That's great.
Yep. It is magic. It is literal magic.
That is
I don't
great.
have to have a setup anymore. I can literally just sit on the floor. If my back is hurting, maybe I'll pull out the table and sit at the table in my computer chair. I'm supposed to be showing you how to schedule, but let me come out and look at the
You
question.
can stay in bed all day and just photograph.
Um,
It's Karen's question about what you just answered with the photographing of taking away some of the picture.
um, I hope to catch you. You caught it. We're here. We're still here for a little while. Um, a book I was doing on LP left only the image. I've never had that issue, Tammy. I mean, not to discredit you or say you're not telling the truth, but we have over 2,000 listings and we sell 10 items a day. So add on, 5,000 listings, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 is probably what we've done in List Perfectly. And the only time I've ever had the issue of it removing the item is if we had like a focused in on a tag of a plush that was white on a white table, it would confuse the two. Does that make sense? But I've only seen that happen like twice. We've never ever had it do that. Oh, she did say I didn't miss the whole show. Okay.
Yeah, that one there.
See, I've never had that issue. Never on List Perfectly. You might want to look at what you're taking your pictures on because, like, my white table is definitively different color than jeans. Jeans are blue. So it's taking the table out and the back and the brown floor and the black TV. Maybe it's if you're still using a photo setup with a white background, maybe I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be rah. List Perfectly is never wrong, but I can tell you that we've been using List Perfectly since 2019 and had thousands of items go through their remover, and I've only ever seen that come up a couple of times on white tags from the plush when we were up too close. So I don't know. Are you taking your? Is it like? Are you still using a photo setup? Are you still on a white background?
Yeah, we still have the photo set up, but I'm in the office, so and it's /desk. After I'm done photographing.
It's when your background is too close to the same color. So I've probably never seen it happen because our table's white and jeans are dark. And Keith's on a white wall with colored shirts.
Right.
And
Right.
then our floor is hardwood for the plush. So paid for it's perfectly pays for itself when you use it.
I can attest to that. We finally got it. I think by the end of the month it paid for itself.
There's the answer to our question. She's not even using the List Perfectly removal tool, and that's why she's having issues.
Yeah, photo room is the one. Photo room is the one that was taking away parts of the clothing or the subject, because I had that happen too when it was coming out.
So Karen is using a white background photo setup and not doing them in List Perfectly, and that is exactly why you're having issues.
Until I got yelled at.
Yeah, if you're doing your stuff in List Perfectly, you're not going to run into these issues. I didn't yell. I just said, "Told you so."
Wait, where's the emoji? Oh yeah, where do you see this? This. That's the emoji I got.
Told you, and eating some sassy burritos because listen.
That's what I got sent back to me.
Because I told him and his husband for 2 years
Hey,
how to do, and then they were here in November, and they still weren't doing it. So I sat down with their laptop and their phones, and I even put a
yes,
bookmark on their phone straight to the List Perfectly website so they could take their pictures, and I showed them how to do it. And then fast forward 4 months later, Bill calls me, "I'm having an issue. Are you listening to what I showed you?"
You want
No.
to know why someone was feeding us adult drinks, and I don't think we remembered what happened that night.
That was in the morning or in the afternoon before we went to Purgatory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm
that's,
schedule. I know
I
we keep.
haven't showed you how to schedule.
I'm sorry. We keep getting sidetracked. I'm sorry, but you wanted
Okay.
to show me the scheduling on eBay.
Yeah, no, like I said to Bill, it's like if you're gonna keep doing the same thing, it's the definition of insanity, right?
Change is hard. I get it. So,
But when change is good, like
but
I
it
did,
is good. It's freeing up our day now. I can
I can
I can
measure and photograph 20 pairs of jeans in under an hour.
Oh yeah, I could run out and do all my chores and come down here and start work at 12 o'clock and still have the same amount of listings done by 6.
It's just amazing because I don't have to be concerned. I don't have to drag lights out or set anything up.
Right.
I
Well,
can
this
willy nilly, if my gut's fat and it's in the picture, who cares?
yeah. Well, see, we have it set up where it's permanent because I got hard goods and everything that I list too. So I need a solid table to.
All right, we're going to pretend that this is ready to list.
Okay.
Okay. Pretend that I'm going to delete this and everything.
Okay.
And this is my listing. So that's my template from List Perfectly. Now, if I was actually pushing this out from List Perfectly, I would have edited this completely here.
Sure.
To say, what is this? Fiesta, Panda Bear. How big is he? 11. So I would have done all this here, right?
Okay.
I would have filled in this, the description box, the brand. I do all of this in List Perfectly. Just
Gotcha.
boom, boom, boom. My SKU. You can do your keywords, Panda Bear, plush toy, whatever you want to say. Make sure your zip code's correct. I always leave my plush in at 15 ounces and I weigh them at time of shipping. It's just easier for us that way because I do so many.
Okay.
And then I've been putting this note in. This is just for us in Keys. I've been putting this in my plush because I ended all of our current plush and I'm putting them back in the store for reasons. And so this is just to let him know that he can list it. He's not allowed to touch it if it doesn't have this note. If it doesn't have this note, I haven't double checked it, put it back in.
Gotcha.
Anyway, long story short, I would have done all that here and pushed it out to eBay. So we're going to pretend all this is, filled in.
Okay.
When you go down here to your price,
right,
which it didn't fill in because I didn't have a price, but let's say I want $20 for this. I'd list it for $24.99 because we were 20% off, so that would put it at the price I want.
We do the same thing.
Right here.
Scheduled listing. And that's where you can set your times in your day. Okay.
Yeah, but it goes by Pacific, so note that. You can't take that.
Okay.
And you can do 15 minutes. I mean, you can do whatever times you want.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool.
And then, just to show you, do I have a list that I'm asking Bill like he knows? If I have a listing that's ready to go, I will actually show you what happens to it on List Perfectly.
Okay.
Let's do this Ninja Turtle, guys. Okay. We're going to actually list him. We're going to schedule him out. I'm scheduled through 2 a.m. Sunday morning, so we'll put this guy at 3 a.m. Okay. So let's actually list him. I'm going to leave that long. He's a biggin.
He looks familiar.
That is Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles.
It looks like from when we sent him down to you. That's what I was talking.
Oh yeah, I think it's one of the ones you gave me. I think. TV show. I mean, he's a Ninja Turtle, so we'll put he's a Ninja Turtle in the show and the movie. He's a plush. I don't really bother with too many of the item specifics. You don't need to either. Surprise if you didn't know that.
So let me ask you this while you're doing all that before you get into the other. Scott and I were having a conversation. Are you having a problem with the plush through List Perfect because you don't have the kind of categories? Because it's kind of geared towards clothing more than it's hard goods?
Not at all.
Okay.
You saw me click this because that's my store category. eBay reverts automatically to the last listing that you did. But right here, oh, that says action figure.
But
Thank
see,
you.
in List Perfect, you can't put hard goods into a category.
If your title is good enough, eBay's going to pick up on the category.
Well, yeah, obviously when you get into eBay, you can, but I'm talking about when you build it into List Perfect for, I don't know.
What do you mean a category in List Perfect?
Like when you go into eBay and you make a listing, you can pick a category. If it's a figurine, you can put it into figurines. When you do it in List Perfect, you have your only
You
choice.
don't pick your category on List. I can't spell Nickelodeon.
Yeah, it's not because it's not available.
I don't understand what you're saying. Hold on, let me do one thing at a time. Because I really am not understanding you.
I'm probably saying it the right way.
So I'm gonna schedule this for 3 a.m. Sunday morning. Okay. Everything's good?
Yeah.
List it.
Oh, hold on. Why am I? Oh, because
okay. So
I'm losing power.
My ghost is over there. All right. So your listing is scheduled and not yet live. You can see that right here, right? So when I go back over to List Perfectly.
Okay.
It's going to take a minute. You can see it says eBay.
Right.
Because it pulled that item number.
Okay.
But when I double click, when I right click, open link in new tab, the listing from List Perfectly has already linked to this listing and grabbed that item number, but it's still saying your listing is not yet live.
Now.
But it'll go live and you'll be linked to List Perfectly.
Okay, so if you push him out on the other platforms that you sell him on, the system knows not to push the eBay one out until that time frame, and it'll push the other ones out like as of right now.
Right, because you scheduled it.
Okay.
List Perfectly doesn't push out or schedule; it's each individual tab.
Go back to your List Perfect, please, and open.
I'm gonna catch up on comments real quick.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
No, it's just look how many came in.
Oh, we got a nice crowd.
So you get the background remover when you're listing in List Perfectly, Karen. It's automatically there in the editor and your catalog. And you can take pictures right in List Perfectly. Absolutely. You just go to listperfectly.com on your phone and click add listing. Yep. And yes, you are welcome, Karen. I did answer your questions, and then I kind of like alluded to something. A new unpopular opinion video will be out tomorrow, wherein I disagree with every expert in our industry on delisting and relisting. Foreshadowing. All right, back to my List Perfectly.
Yeah, open it up and go to a pair of jeans, and just open it up, and then go to the description side of the page, please. Okay, scroll down a little bit. Stop right there. Stop. See all the categories down here? Intended for? Unisex, men, women. See all that?
Yeah.
My issue is for hard goods, it doesn't say you have to hit none because you can't label it as a figurine or a teapot, or see what I'm saying? But
it should still pick up a category. Let's try it. I'm telling you, if your title's good enough,
right,
eBay should still pick a category for you, even if you have to check none on that.
Okay.
We're going to test that theory. I put none, right?
Yes.
I have a good title. Build-A-Bear Disney Palace Pets.
Okay.
Why you want to be slow when I'm live?
But be careful on Macari. Sometimes it doesn't pick up the proper category, even if the category is titled correctly, because we've had men's jeans and women's jeans.
Yeah, but that's a Macari issue, not.
I know. Exactly.
Okay. It did. Because of Build-A-Bear, it wants to automatically put this in bears, which is normal for eBay.
Okay.
If you ever have Build-A-Bear in your title as the first 3 words, eBay's always going to want to put your listing as a bear. And if it is a bear, I say leave it here But if it's not, you'd want to change this to Disney plush or just other plush.
So then if I put teapot in the title, obviously I'm going to, or bowl or ceramic bowl or Pyrex, it's going to know, it'll take it to that category when it goes to eBay.
Want to test it? Give me a good title.
Yeah, let's test it. All right,
Let's give me a good title.
vintage Pyrex,
How do you spell Pyrex?
Pyrex,
Okay.
homestead style bowl.
What color?
Gray.
Soup, cereal.
Actually, it's beige. Beige is actually.
I put soup and cereal.
Yeah.
Snacks. Popcorn. I love keywords. Y'all don't even know.
No, I get it.
So I'm going to say none. We're going to pretend this has pictures and it's Pyrex. We're going to call it gray because we already did. It's ceramic.
Yep. Actually glass. But
it's glass. It's not gas.
But like you wouldn't, yeah. All right, so let's see what it does here.
So I'm going to save that listing. We'll pretend it has pictures and all.
Okay.
I just want to see if eBay pulls up a category. And now my computer is not going to cooperate at all because I'm live.
It happens.
Every time I'm live.
I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Oh, no, you're welcome. Absolutely. If you have any list perfectly questions, any of you, let me know. As Donovan likes to say about me, I'm their biggest cheerleader. I'm their biggest cheerleader that doesn't work for them. Why is it not working? Come on. Broham.
Maybe because it's waiting for pictures and it just won't use.
Pottery and glass, decorative cookware, dinnerware, and serveware.
It's more, now it would be more kitchen is where it would be.
Right, but I put.
Yeah, that's true because everything else you got in there.
This is saying dinnerware and serveware.
Okay, yeah, so.
And I put soup, cereal, snacks.
So it does do it. Okay.
And you see, it's my store categories reverting to plush.
Right.
eBay always reverts to the last one that you had.
Sure.
But it already is pudding. It includes a bowl.
Okay, so it did it all. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I'm telling you guys, if you build really good titles, I can't find my. eBay will do the rest for you. Their AI is really good at picking stuff up from the title.
I've been working pretty good on Etsy lately. We've been doing pretty well on that platform. I'm trying to get a lot of this vintage glassware and stuff going. So, and they're the same thing. And the other thing I'm trying to do, Pinterest.
Pinterest?
Yes. I opened up, I had one and I've been pinning. Oh shoot, why am I not plugged in? Want to make sure I don't.
He's losing power again, folks.
Why is it charging? Oh, I know it's not charging. I hit the plug. Hold up. There we go. There we go.
Okay, so the next time you're coming on here is March 10th, right?
I've been doing Pinterest, and what I've been doing is making a board, and let's say I'm selling Pyrex. Put a lot of Pyrex in that, and then put my listing in there, and I'm able to put a link to Etsy or any platform I want, and then when the person clicks on it, they can click to Etsy, and it takes them directly to the product. It's just another way of trying to sell something.
Okay, so you're coming back on here on March 10th?
Yeah.
Do you want to do a Pinterest show?
Sure.
What I'll do is for the next 2 weeks, I'll do some experimentation. I don't have a Pinterest, but I'm very willing to try one and calculate some data. I need a green pen. I cannot write in March in my bullet journal without a green pen. This is not cool. I color code everything, guys. I'm a big dork. Big dork.
And speaking of time management, and this it's kind of off subject.
It's not off subject.
We are going away to a convention, which is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's 2,700 vendors that'll be there. So what Dave and I have done is we have mapped out ourselves a schedule of where we want to go so that we can gauge ourselves directly to just those stores. And we're going to be doing some seminars too. So,
You know what? We did that. It's not reselling related, but when we went to Universal to see Harry Potter, and then we went
okay.
Disney to see Star Wars, it was like, we're doing this before we leave Florida, bucket list stuff. We did that too. So before we went, we decided what was most important for us to see in the park.
Yep.
And most important for us to do. We looked at the map. We got the little app for Disney, and we said, this is the order in which we do these things, because the last things on the list were like, if we don't get to them,
Okay.
we'll live.
Yeah, it's
First things were, I'm not leaving Florida until I go to the thing and build my own droid, you know?
we're doing ASD. We're taking a plunge and going we want to add something more to our portfolio, work portfolio. We want to get into wholesaling. So we're thinking about doing the Amazon. So we're going to go to meetings, and I know. So, but we want to find a product that we can sell continuously on top of the thrifting.
Nerd.
So, there you go. We can look for them. But there's 2,700 vendors from around the world. It's a 4-day event. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And we leave in the morning.
Yeah, you do.
Going to Vegas.
All right, I put this because I have been meaning to start cross-posting to Instagram.
Okay.
So I'll do a little bit of both in the next 2 weeks.
Did you see the new app for Instagram?
Apparently not.
Oh, I haven't used it yet. That Palm, yeah. How would you say
Is that just for your Apple fake phone or
the PALOMA?
Paloma?
Yeah, it's an app where you can sell things through Instagram. I just started reading up on it. I haven't really gotten too involved in it.
Oh, I just meant listing. I have an actual Instagram for not Flippin' Hippos, for the Hippo Hut.
Okay. Well, apparently they DM you through sales. It's if you have a business account or something like that. You should look into it.
I'm not willing to get into that yet. I was just trying to do the Instagram like Clara did hers before she.
Do you have 10,000? You have the 10,000 followers, so you can get the swipe to the right.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Like I literally went to a List Perfectly live YouTube, created an Instagram for the Hippo Hut, put up one listing, then I moved and never touched it again.
Okay.
So we'll talk about all of that next time. The Instagram, the Pinterest. I got to give away some List Perfectly.
Yeah, because you told me about the monetizing on the Instagram, how that works. I didn't know how it worked until you told me. So
yeah, so we can do all that. Actually, that's different. So being monetized on Instagram to do your reels and being an influencer, I hate that word, is completely different than what I'm talking about, cross-posting and selling. But we'll show all of that Friday. We'll let you share your screen and you can do Pinterest, and then I'll share mine. And Bill, what criteria are you using to evaluate products you may get from those vendors?
We actually have access to the back office of all the vendors that are going to be there. So we're just investigating, and then they have links to their store so we can see the stuff before we actually get out there.
I can't even spell Etsy anyway.
So
I typoed.
And I could be, I could be wrong in that answering that question. Hopefully I answered it right.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give away some List Perfectly. But first I'm going to answer this question because it's important for me to answer this question or respond to this comment. eBay is the hardest, most convoluted platform to learn.
You think so?
It has the most item specifics and this
Oh
thing,
yeah, yeah.
firstborn kid and your blood and your maiden name and the hair of a goat from 1935. I mean, eBay is so difficult to list on. And then you go to Macari and then you go to Poshmark and you go to these other platforms and you're like, oh, click, click, click.
Yeah.
I mean, we list on technically 7, but I don't do anything with the Amazon or the Shopify. We do Grailed, Kitizen, eBay, Macari, Poshmark, and then Keith does stuff with the remotes on and his video games on Amazon and Shopify. Um, and remember, I don't show you guys everything on this YouTube channel because we got to keep some secrets, right?
Sure.
But we do some stuff in the background that I don't teach about or show about on here. Even Shopify is really easy though. When Keith showed it to me, all the other platforms, it's like so simple and easy compared to eBay. Really, 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 really. All right, but I'm gonna give away a month of list perfectly. Who wants a free month?
I do. I do.
You're not eligible.
Yeah. But no, Dave and I were doing some talking, and we figured we try the wholesale route and see what road that brings us to. Just open up new doors, and and it's funny too because we're treating this just like we did eBay. When we did eBay, we were only 6 months into it, and we just heard about eBay Open and said, you know what, we're going to do it. And that's when I met Scott, and I met you the following year. So we figured we'd take the same approach with this one. I was watching football and I opened up Facebook and popped out in front of me was ASD event, and we got talking, and by Tuesday I was on the phone with Scott and the three of us are going. So we just decided that, you know what, let's try it. The only way we're going to get further in this business
is to try new things.
Exactly.
And you expand your horizons.
Yep.
Don't be afraid of change.
There's other things out of there besides just the thrift stores, and there's a whole world of selling through the auctions. But since I've been doing auctions, yay!
Tammy! Yay! Tammy, you won 1 free month of List Perfectly. I'm pretty sure you already are a List Perfectly user because I see you in their live shows, but that's okay. That just means you get your next month for free. You don't have to pay your bill next month. And if you're not using Pro Plan, let me plug it real quick. Tammy, if you're not using Pro Plan, use your free month to try out Pro Plan. Yeah, and everybody else that's not using List Perfectly, you can try it for 30% off. Code flippinhippos. eBay, yeah, everything else is easy. If you've learned list, hi, Star speaks English.
What else do we want to talk about? Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I just got a text by Scott saying that there actually you can rent a scooter to drive around with. Guess who's renting one?
I would.
So yeah, it's set up into 3 sections. It's north, central, and west. And then there's going to be meetings like how to. There's going to be Amazon. It's very Amazon geared. A lot of private labels that we're thinking about private labeling. There's going to be private labeling out there. Sunday, they actually have a half-hour how to use the event and guides and all that stuff. And there's meetings all day long. And so it's pretty, I'm looking forward to it. Networking. That's what I'm looking forward to, the networking. And it's a whole different world of networking.
Tammy, by the way, sorry.
It's
I
fine.
forgot to tell her. Private message me your email on Instagram or Facebook, and then I can get you in touch with Tiffany at List Perfectly. So, Bill, I usually ask you because part of time management is managing your time well so that you're super productive and that you have good processes in place and good routines. When all of that happens and falls into place, you're going to do more work in less time. And then you have time to do other stuff in life because I think it's super important for work-life balance. I work to live. I work to support the lifestyle I want. I don't live to work. I love my job. I wake up every morning excited. I love doing what we do. Days I know we're going thrifting, I get out of bed and I'm like, I'm going to the thrift store.
If I
I
know
love my job, but I don't live to work.
not to interrupt you, but if I know I'm going to an auction, I get like super, super excited, like it's Christmas morning. Because, yeah, but I agree with 100% what you're saying. I open up my window every morning, thank the universe, and I see my neighbors driving to work, and I come downstairs, grab a cup of coffee, and I'm at work.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
So yeah, I love my job. I love what I do, but I don't live to work. I don't live.
No.
I don't eat, breathe, and sleep work. I do this because I enjoy it. I do this because it's a way for me to be able to make money with my disability. And now, in addition to my disability, like I said, I'll just touch on it briefly. I have a lot of other health issues going on, and I'm going to have a lot of treatments and shit I have to deal with. But I can work around that, right? But I work so that I make enough money to have the lifestyle that I want.
Yes.
And that includes sometimes taking an afternoon on a Saturday to have a glass of wine and read. And sometimes having friends over for a barbecue, and sometimes playing hooky to play a video game, and going to these events and traveling and seeing my friends. And
Prime example is this trip. If we had a 9-to-5 job, and I'm not saying it's not a bad thing because it's not for everybody, but because of this lifestyle that we chose, we can just jump on a plane and go. Where if we were doing this part-time, we wanted to go, we would have asked for time off, and this early in the season may not have been able to get it.
yep.
So there
Well,
are,
I mean,
and it's again, it took 3 years of hard work, and almost up until last year to actually get everything in place to do this. So,
but I mean, if Keith and I had moved to Florida for any other jobs, or just moved there and got other jobs, and in less than a year got the news about his grandfather and had to move back here, we would have lost our jobs. Nobody would have transferred us. Nobody would have been like, oh, we'll get you a job in Pittsburgh. You're secure. But we moved our job with us, and we're fine. And with all these new health issues with me and his grandfather, I don't know if I told you, Bill, he's got to go back in for surgery again.
No.
Yeah. Like he's having issues again. So he's got to go back in for surgery. Grandma's still in a wheelchair, needs help. Like this whole family's falling apart. We're all sickies. But I can still work. I can take a laptop or a phone to the hospital in the waiting room while I wait for his surgery. If I know it's a day I got to take grandma grocery shopping or help her clean or help grandpa go to the hospital or a doctor's appointment, then I can work extra the day before. I can schedule listings out for free now. So, I mean, it's a wonderful job. Don't get me wrong. I'm blessed to have it. It has opened up a lot of opportunities. It's allowed me to meet some of my best friends in life, like this guy here.
From coast to coast.
Yeah.
Dave and I like to travel, and we can jump in the car and go. We can call somebody in Seattle or somebody in California and say, hey, we're heading that way. And they're like, stop on by. It's great. Yes, it's great.
It's wonderful. But don't make it your whole life or your whole personality. Don't make being a reseller your entire personality. Get interested in something else. Do something else. Have hobbies, have pets, friends,
volunteer, whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever it is. I mean, everybody's different. Some people like football. Some people are nerds and want to play Harry Potter Legacy. But
speaking of which, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you were saying do something else. I was going to say that Danny has started the sports on the TikTok, and he's doing very well with it.
Yes, I've been looking at it. I haven't been commenting, but I'm watching the reels so he gets.
Yeah, he just told me to put a video up yesterday. Less than 24 hours, he had 1,300, and that was as of this morning. 1,300 views.
More views than me. Apparently, sports is more popular on TikTok than reselling.
But he's really good. He's really good at sports. He knows his sports. So
I'm really good at reselling. I know my reselling.
Exactly. And I'm trying to talk him into the shorts on YouTube. So he's looking at that. So,
all right.
Anyway,
so that long-winded talk was basically winding up to, I usually ask Bill, hey, what are you doing this weekend?
What are you doing this weekend? I'm jumping on a plane tomorrow.
And you're going to Vegas.
I'm going to Vegas. Yay! Yeah,
I
we
got
should
nothing that
land,
exciting planned.
and then we leave. We leave Saturday and we come home Thursday.
So you'll be gone all week.
Yes, that's why we did set up the way we did, and we with the stores on vacation mode to sell, and everything else is we're good because it's a 3-day window, so we're good with the other platforms.
And you'll meet Scott in Vegas.
Scott is meeting us in Vegas, and we're all staying in the same hotel, which is
Um,
connected right to the. We found out it's connected right to the conference.
so jealous. Well, I guess
You don't want to play and join us,
in
and
3 months you guys will all be here.
yes, and there may be a chance that we're gonna meet a couple people out there from Vegas.
That's fun. So not as exciting as Bill, but he said I got a new video game.
Yay!
I forgot what it's called. It's co-op.
Okay.
And you're each playing a different criminal in jail and you're breaking out of jail.
Oh, cool.
If any other nerds in the chat know what I'm talking about, we have subscription on. God, we're nerds. We have all these streaming services because we love movies and true crime and Marvel. But we also have it's like $10 a month for the Xbox and the PlayStation subscriptions, but it comes with hundreds of games you get for free.
Oh, wow.
So the only time we buy games anymore is if they're like brand new and like the Harry Potter Legacy. I'm not waiting 3 years until that's free on the PlayStation Pass. You know what I mean? So, but he found it because it's really hard to find co-op games anymore that aren't online co-op. We play what's called couch co-op if you're not a nerd. But it used to be there were video games all the time that you could find that two people could sit in the same room and play, but anymore you've got to be online.
Okay.
So he found this. It is a couch co-op, and it's really cool. You have to figure out how to break out of prison and work together as a team. So we're going to play that tonight. We're having pizza for dinner.
Yay.
And we're going to play video games. And then tomorrow we're working because of me taking off Monday and Tuesday for being ill. So we're going to both put in a half day tomorrow, which equates a one-person full day, I think, and makes up for.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then after that, we're going to have a movie marathon tomorrow.
What are you doing for your Sunday?
We're going to the casino.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we're going with Keith's grandparents and his aunt and his uncle. Like the whole family is going and having like a big old hoorah at the casino. We all got $40 in free play.
Oh, great.
They sent us in the mail. We all got it. So we're all going to go down and play on their dime. And then there's a restaurant there called The Wheelhouse that has really good food. So we're all going to go out to dinner together, have a couple drinks, and then play at the casino and the whole family. So,
and then back to the grind on Monday, right?
And then back to the grind on Monday, yeah. And then Wednesday, we're taking off work to take his grandparents to the hospital and sit in the waiting room for surgery. So Thursday and Friday is kind of up in the air because I don't know if we're going to have to, like when we first moved here, you remember how much we had to go over there and help them and drive them places.
Mm-hmm.
If his grandfather can't drive, we have to drive him everywhere, and the grandma's in a wheelchair. So it's pretty extensive when they need our help, but we'll be able to schedule work next weekend if we have to and work around it. And I mean, one of the biggest reasons we moved back here was to be near them and help them and spend time with them. So,
and you got to change the seasons, which speaking of, come to find out, it's going to be just as cold there as it is here.
Well, it was 70 degrees here yesterday.
Yeah, I know it was. Same here. But
I came home from the grocery shopping. I'm like, you got to turn the heat down.
Yeah, right. We land
30 degrees.
Wow. No, I hear you. Well, we land is going to be 52 and rainy, and the high is going to be like 58, and the low is going to be in the low 40s. So even walking I don't even know, like walking the strip or Fremont Street. I don't know how far we are. We haven't really
over Vegas, to be honest.
But we're just basically, we might just hang out and go to dinners and stuff like that. I'm not a big casino person, so it doesn't bother me.
Well, if we want to go to the casino, we go here.
Sure.
And it's always a family event. We go there on Christmas and we go there on Easter. We go there once in a while and we go to dinner and the whole family goes. But anyway, It's been a very mild winter here in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh.
Yes, it is.
And his
Well, one good
grandparents
snowstorm.
say we brought the warmth with us back up from
Yeah, but
Florida.
usually February, March is when you got to be careful. We've had pretty good snowstorms the end of February, beginning of March. We've had some major
Stop
storms.
it. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
I want one good snowstorm. I'm not a big winter person, but
No.
one good snowstorm, a
No.
2-foot snowstorm. I'm putting it out there
No.
in the universe. I'm going to
You
make
can have it next year. I'm ready for spring. After a 70-degree day yesterday, when the power went out and all that shit happened, when we were waiting for the maintenance guy, I went out on the deck, Bill.
Oh, it was gorgeous out.
I was like, I'm sitting outside if I have to work, if I have to be out here.
Neighbors we haven't seen all winter were out. It was
great.
It was like when COVID hit and everybody was stuck in the house and had to walk the path and everybody was neighbors you never knew.
All right, well, we've been on here for over an hour. So
yeah, we got to cut it.
Tammy, make sure you send me your email address, and I will be quite transparent with you. I probably will not email Tiffany until Monday. I don't really. I'm putting in half a day tomorrow just to make up for having been sick earlier this week and knowing I'm taking Wednesday off next week. But it's going to be a half day of basically just listing. So, but I'll get that. Bill, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely, anytime.
And we'll be back in 2 weeks to show people Instagram and Pinterest.
Yes.
And I'll be back in a week to talk about God knows what. I have a hard time choosing what to talk about sometimes. I feel like all I talk about is time management, routines, tough love. Time management, routines, tough love. Lives perfectly. That's all I talk about.
But yeah, just stay positive. If you guys feel like you're down in the dumps, find a good positive video and pop it in the morning. That is part of my routine. And when I'm down, I throw one on. It kind of gets you back in. It's like when you go to the rah-rah conventions, the same thing. Only because as we know, this can be very lonely.
It can. So do something you love. Keep yourself entertained. If you are a List Perfectly user, I cannot stress enough how the listing parties have changed so many people's lives. Just connecting people in Zoom calls to talk to others and know that they're not alone. Brian says, thanks for inviting me. Well, hey, thanks for coming. I met Brian in List Perfectly parties, connected with him. Thanks for coming to the show. I really appreciate it.
Baseball season opened up.
It's Halloween. Oh, wait, it's only February. It's Halloween in this house. All right, guys, go have a wonderful weekend. Make sure that you balance your work and life this weekend. Spend time on yourself, with your pets, your friends, your family. Do something you enjoy. And if you have nice weather, go outside and get some vitamin D. It'll make you feel better after a long gray winter, right?
Absolutely.
And Bill, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Mary. We will.
And everybody else, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you. If you're watching this as a replay in the future, thank you so much for coming back and watching the replay, even though you couldn't attend it live. I absolutely appreciate everybody. I love everybody. You guys are the best.
Real quick before you,
I'm already waving. Let's go.
follow me on Instagram under gnome_frog, and I will be updating our trip out in Vegas.
Yeah, there's a link in the description box for them to click. You can go right to his Instagram.
Hi, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.